And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. You know, my name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you, and I'm with my partner in crime on Thursdays is our wonderful Chris Edwards, our weekly co-host of this wonderful program. What's going on, Chris? What's going on, buddy?
Honestly, I'm pissed. Like I said when I came on with you a little earlier, I don't.
This
We just can't get away from the foolishness. This country is disgusting. I'm not gonna say this country. This administration is disgusting, and I don't know. Like, I don't know why. Like, this one's hitting me a little bit hard, but it's like, and for those that don't know what we're talking about, I'm talking about the young lady that was murdered by a federal ICE agent. Her name is Renee Nicole Macklin Good. She was dropping off her son,
mm,
her 6-year-old. She's a mother of 3. Recently moved to Minnesota, I think within the last year. And she was murdered in her car for no reason. And this administration is deplorable. They are all the things that people say about them. And I cannot wait until they all are put up on war crimes. Because it's crimes against humanity, against its own people. But anyway, I'll let you get started. You only asked me how I was doing.
that's a good start. And you, like, I know when we heard the news, you reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, this is every day we have to deal with the
Every single day.
insanity of these people. And it's just hard to believe that there are people that are okay with this. There are people that feel some kind of vindication. And it's like the reporter said immediately. She said, watch them make her a villain.
Yep.
Watch them
Instantly
tear her down. Watch them use, being that she is a lesbian and in a couple relationship with a woman, they were going to run. She said they were going to do every single thing to make this person look like she was the villain.
Yep.
And before that woman, the reporter said it on one channel, you turn on to the other channel and the dog killer, Gnome.
Yep. They didn't even know her name. They didn't even know her name at that point. Like, they didn't even have information, and yet still they went with that narrative.
We didn't even know she was black or white at that very moment.
Yeah.
People were like, we don't know the situation. We're getting information. And it's just horrible. It's just a horrible, sad day. But every day in America is stressful, sad, because of these idiots that we live among. And I keep saying over and over again, America is getting what it deserves. And when I say that, I'm not saying all Americans. I'm saying that as a country, this is what happens when you put incompetent people in power. When you put incompetent, uneducated people that thrive on being dumb, being stupid, don't want to learn, don't want to be educated, don't acknowledge excellence. This is what happens when people don't vote. This is what happens when people vote for someone that is a criminal. This is what happens every other country.
I'm going to correct you. A convicted criminal. Let's use the proper terminology, because he was convicted.
Convicted criminal. This is what happens when a country, the countrymen lose scope of what is important. The rest of the world would not have ever put a leader like this, a person like this in leadership.
Yeah.
He's not a leader.
So someone had mentioned in the comments that they didn't realize she had. Let me just read from the Associated Press. On Wednesday, Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a 37-year-old mother of 3 who had recently moved to Minnesota. She was a U.S. citizen born in Colorado and appears to never have been charged with anything involving law enforcement beyond a traffic ticket.
Mm.
This woman did
Ex-
nothing. She was murdered, executed, and for all the things that they're saying, it could be rebuked by the video, the multiple video angles that people recorded and put up. This officer was not in front of the car. He was at the side of the car, and he had his hand on his weapon
way before.
off.
Yes.
His intent was to pull out that gun and shoot. We all knew this was going to happen eventually, and it did. And I have to say, kudos to the people of Minnesota because they protested all day yesterday, nonviolently. They listened and took heed to the mayor and the governor. Because here's the thing: this is what Trump and his administration want. They wanted to have something like this happen so that they can invoke the Insurrection Act, declare martial law, and be on the streets. And then once they do it one place, they could do it everywhere. Thank you to the people of Minnesota for not allowing or not taking the bait and giving them what they wanted.
Yeah, it's just horrible. We're gonna say some hellos to some folks in the community, and but it's just so disturbing on so many levels when you see, yeah, again, the video. Or here's in one of the videos, a doctor,
yes,
is saying, "Can I go see? Can I go help her? Can I?
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor. Let me help her. Let me help her."
And they're saying no.
And they say no. These are evil people. And like I said, I have never used the word evil so much in a time period. You could say people from the Nazis and the Hitlers and all that of the 1930s were evil. But these are evil people. These are evil people. There is nothing good about these folks. No. They're uneducated. They're untrained. This is what happens when you allow, again, stupid, dumb, ignorant people to be in position of power. Yeah, and then we'll talk about Venezuela.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just the insanity. Let's say good morning to some folks. Good morning. The gold goes to our wonderful Hannah, as usual. She is on her throne. Good morning, Ron and Chris and Touch Base Daily family. I will be in and out of the chat room today. I have my first physical therapy session after my cast being removed from the wrist I broke in November. Ooh, I know you are feeling liberated because I remember when I fractured my thumb from skiing. This decades ago. And that cast, oh, you just want to scratch. You want to put the pencil underneath it. And that's when they had the old kind of cast back in the day. The new casts are much better than the old ones. And in silver comes the wonderful Chris. She's in Miss Chris R is in the building. She says, good morning. And in third place with the bronze is Tanya Moore. So good to see you here. Good morning, family, she says. Good morning. Also, we have the wonderful Kimmy Kim and Jazzy Jazz is in the building. Good morning, beautiful people, she says. Tanya says, this is so exhausting. I didn't realize she had children. 3 children are now motherless.
And hold on, these children are orphaned because their father passed away several years ago. These kids are orphaned. If there was something that came over the wire, her father, the father for the kids, was flying to go and pick them up because now they are orphaned.
Horrible. Kimmy Kim says, didn't know they didn't have her name before they made statements about her character and lifestyle. Yes,
They
they
didn't
knew
know anything.
nothing. They
They
knew
knew
nothing.
nothing. They just came out and attacked. And here's the thing. This is kind of evil for me to actually even say this, but I do believe they probably thought maybe she was black when they were making these statements.
They probably did.
Because let's victimize the victim. Let's get out there in front. Let's make them, make us seem proud of what we did, and demoralize the victim.
Yeah.
I'm curious how they're going to pivot.
Kim says the news needs to bring that point out. They did. They all morning. I should say all evening. You had Don Lemon. You had the folks from I had it. I had it with the their Jenny and Pumps. They were sharing nonstop.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Midas Touch also sharing this morning. We'll do a clip from Morning Joe. Morning Joe, they talked about it this morning, and so
MS
we'll
Now, all
yes.
the newscasters from MS Now, yes, they were telling her story and making her the story, because I mean that's what it really is. We have to uplift her. I mean, this woman did nothing wrong, and now you have 3 kids that are orphaned. Like, that needs to be the story.
And also, Kimmy Kim says zealous officers have done this time and time again in minorities, and this is what Jenny and Jennifer and Pumps was saying on their show, that she says, being that they're 2 white women, she was saying that this is what it feels like. I know that we don't want to say that you know they were trying to use you want to call it guided words, but they were saying this is what the Black community and people of color go through every day.
Yep. Welcome, Elise.
Across the country. Hey, Elise, good to see you. And that this is what communities of color go through every day around the country. In some cases around the globe. And I mean, they were hitting it hard last night. I was just like, wow, go Jen. And if you don't know about their show, we'll also get a clip from them as well.
They didn't know this woman from a can of paint, and they called her a domestic terrorist.
Didn't know her at all. Didn't know her at all. Knew nothing about her. But that dog killer, she is. And
with her cowboy hat.
She came on trying to style as she always trying to do. And I'm not even going. I will not. I mean, I may say gnome, but so just so you know who I'm talking about.
I wouldn't even give her that respect.
She is the dog killer, dog catcher, dog brain moron. I every time I see that woman, I just want to spit. I'm sorry to say it that way. I mean, she's just a horrible person.
They're all horrible individuals. They are the pieces of shit that get caught on our shoes when we walk outside. That's what it all boils down to. I don't know why, like, this is really, I mean, it's really bothering me. And it's been bothering me since last night. She's just a normal person. Like, we all get into our cars to go grocery shopping, to drop off kids, to go people, to just do regular, normal, everyday stuff. She did not think that today, when she left to drop off her child at school, that she was not going to make it home, and she was going to be shot multiple times in the face in her vehicle with her partner sitting next to her. It's crazy.
Well, they don't care. I mean, I think that, I watch a lot of interesting shows like Criminal Minds.
Yes.
That the dog killer, that was the symptoms of psychopaths.
Yes.
That's what they start with. They start doing that. And to listen to them and the description of this young woman, this innocent young woman, and to lie. And it's the lies for me. You see the video.
Yeah.
But then you come out and say, oh, trucks were stuck. No, trucks weren't stuck. The street was clear.
That's right.
You can see the pavement. So, and I think that it's incumbent upon people to realize that if you are still in somewhere supporting these people or did not vote, this is the result of it. This is the result of Supreme Court rulings. That's why I made my post in my stories this morning with my picture. I finally got it back. I have to put it back behind me again. But this is the result of Supreme Court rulings.
Yes.
That you have these people who are nothing more than snatchers roaming the street armed with no training, no real training. They're recruiting any and everybody.
47 days of training, if I remember, that's what Don said, to match 47th president, quote unquote.
And we don't even know what those days are, but it's like, it's horrible every day. I mean, no matter what people think about Kamala Harris, and we supported her. She said this is what we were going to. This is what it was going to be. There's nothing that she has said that has not come to fruition.
Yeah.
And you're taking people's lives, and as you say, we have to be cautious every day.
Every day.
And Black people have to especially Black people understanding, Black and brown people understanding that it doesn't matter who you are. And in this case, it doesn't matter anyone who you are. If you don't support them, you are in danger with these people.
Yeah.
You are.
And as watching a clip from an Uber driver sitting in a parking lot and is approached by Border Patrol. The first thing they saw was that he was Black.
Yes.
The next thing was talking to him. You heard he had an accent. I want us to let that sink in. The first thing is how you look. They are based on you look, because the Supreme Court
allowed it,
gave them the right to racially profile. And so, and at this point, we have to decide how do we make sure people have to keep flooding the system with her image and the true video.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that no matter where it's gonna get, as long as you can get it where it rotates over again.
Let me tell you something. Put it on your timelines, repost it, and then also show that I'm not gonna call him cops. Excuse me. Show that ICE agent's face, because he didn't have his mask on at one point, and someone was able to get a screenshot of him. Plaster him all over social media so people know who he is.
And torture him like they do others. Mm-hmm. I mean, the good people, MAGA tortures good people. I mean, there should be protests in front of his house. I mean, there should be an outrage on him, because it's just ridiculous. Let me just bring up what Jazzy said here before we get that little correction there. Jazzy says ICE killed 32 people last year that we know of.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. ICE killed 32 people just last year. And most of them were people of color.
The key word is what we know, because they don't report anything. And this administration reports nothing. Right. They keep nothing. They report nothing. They report nothing.
The other correction we want to make sure we put in is that Jazzy says the 6-year-old is orphaned. The older two are from a previous marriage.
Okay. Thank you for that correction.
We want to make sure we get that in there. She says still horrible. Wilbur says once the Supreme Court gave ICE the green light to racially profile, it was over. Yeah. I agree 100%. Once you say it's okay to racially profile, and for so many people to have fought to not have racial profiling, for the Supreme Court to go back to something that they knew was harmful to Americans.
Yeah, and you have to be real specific. I like being specific. It's the 6 Supreme Court justices that are responsible.
Yes, for the 6.
I think we need to make sure they know about Thomas, Alito, Roberts, Gorsuch, Coney Barrett, who's a mother with a Black child.
Yes.
We need to make sure they know who all of these people are, so there's specific, because we can say, the 3 on there are fighting for their lives and crying, going home crying because of some of these rulings, but the 6 are responsible for this.
Yes.
And I think people have to constantly be reminded of that. They are responsible because they didn't hold him accountable for January 6th.
That's right.
And now given these people who, with all of what the hatred and racism that's inside the right, and some of them are desperately trying to get money because, you know, you got people who are black and brown out here who are participating in here as ICE officers.
Yes.
So you've given them the right based on what people look like, not who they are.
Yep.
And now you got to walk around. Oh, where's your documentation?
You know, you say that. I was on my way out to an event on or 2 nights ago, and we left the house. I got downstairs and realized I didn't have my wallet. Now, normally I would have just had my smartphone. I have my identification in my smartphone, and but you know, I had to run upstairs and say, I live in a new age. I had to make sure I had my identification. So I had to run up. I told the Uber driver, hold on, please. I'll be right back. Need to get my wallet and grab some items. And, you know, you wouldn't have been, at least for me, I would not have been fearful of not having my ID. But we got these morons, ICE agents running around the streets of America, just picking up anyone. One of my buddies, I meant we were talking about. I was like, hey, let's go hang out. Let's just go for a road trip and drive. So, you know, just like I invite him to North Carolina and a couple other places. And he was like, I can't. He said, Ron, I don't feel safe traveling around America. I don't want to be I don't want to travel because you know, he's Jamaican. He has a strong Jamaican accent. And he was like, just my accent alone would make me a target. Yeah. And he said, I don't feel comfortable traveling around the city. Oh, I'm sorry, around the country.
And he's absolutely right. And that's, you know, and you bring up a really good point that people need to think about, where you have all of your identification in your phone.
Yes.
If they confiscate your phone, you don't have access to it.
You have nothing.
Yeah.
And then you also want to go in, and I did it following a video online, and I don't know if you posted around or someone else. I went in there and took off their ability.
Yes.
To take the
use your bio
can be swiped down and come up.
Yes.
Took that off. So it can't be swiped down anymore because they can actually turn it on airplane mode. People can't find you or your phone.
That's right.
And so having things electronically stored is not going to save you. They're going to want to see documentation.
Actually, having all your info on your phone now, it can be used against you in a dangerous way. And that's why, like, when you travel now, the best thing to do, especially like when you get, you know, is just to turn your phone off. Because when they ask you, oh, well, where's your phone? Well, it has no power. I can't turn it on. They can't. I mean, they can probably compel you to eventually give them access to it, but I'm not giving that. I'm not turning it over. That's my personal property.
Yeah. You also, this is what I learned from the Society for Journalists, journalists, photographers, and journalists. They mentioned about, again, if you, especially those are photographers, and if you're out in the streets and the rallies and you're, you know, and you want to make sure you turn off your biometrics. And what we had to, when we learned I think it was last year, 2 years ago, in this seminar I was in, is that they were also saying, if you're going to protest or you're going out to these kind of like events where massive people, make sure you take a Sharpie and put your information on your forearm. So that way, and let's say you have to know your lawyer or whatever telephone number you need, to make sure it's on your forearm and put it in Sharpie. So that way you can have it. And this is sad that we are Americans. This is how we have to think about leaving the house, engaging in a lawful protest, constitutional right to protest. But you have to worry about turning off your biometrics on your phone, turn your biometrics off your computer, turn your biometrics off your tablet. And then on top of that, making sure, like Corinne from that, she was the Obama's press secretary. And she said she doesn't leave the house without her passport. Now, this is someone that's served in government. Her face is recognizable for most of us. And she says she does not leave the house without her passport.
You know, be real clear, they don't care anymore.
Because they don't care. But
You
look,
have
remember the black
doctor.
guy? Remember the black guy? I think it was in Chicago when they went into his home and they took the housing development. They took them all out, gassed them,
Right.
hog tagged the kids, and the older gentleman said he showed them his papers.
They don't care.
And they didn't care. Because this is the level of evil these people are.
But and going back to yesterday and the video of them denying the doctor to be able to go over and just to check her pulse.
Maybe he could have saved her.
And then you know what? I don't know how many people are aware, but if the doctor passes by, because of their oath as doctors, a part of the requirement is if they're at the scene of an accident or what, they stop and they check things out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend when her son died in a car accident. One of our friends actually had just passed by. He's a doctor, had just passed by. If he had passed by 5 minutes later, he would have been the one who discovered her son in this car accident that took his life. I had to tell the doctor, I don't care that you're a physician.
Yeah. Yep. That shows the point. It's always been about the cruelty with this administration.
It's always
and I'm not saying that she could have survived her wounds, but if he could have got to her and administered care, maybe it could have prolonged her life until she got to the hospital. But they denied this woman the right to care. A doctor was on the scene and said, "I can help. I'm a doctor."
And less than 100 feet away.
And it was interesting because if you notice, the one that was closer to him who had on the mask, he said, "You know, I understand." But the one that you couldn't really see as well was the one that said, "I don't care."
Yes.
The part is that none of you all care.
None of them care.
We have our own EMS people, but they weren't there.
That's right.
They weren't there to administer any services at all. So it is about the cruelty. It's about everything. Her name was, yes, Renee Nicole Good. That's her name, Bryson. And I think that people have to be reminded. And sometimes the shock value comes in because it brings up so many memories for me, right? Tamir Rice in a park, 12 years old, getting shot in seconds. You know, people who are Ahmaud Arbery, all of those people being killed by people who were just, as we would always say, just regular people going about their everyday business. Was she and even the right to in America, the Supreme Court, everyone is complicit in this. Yes. Everyone has, as Kamala Harris said, they all capitulated, which means that they've all surrendered and given in to all of this madness and are participating and supported it. When you do that, you support this. Anyone who turns their back and not pay attention to any of this, you're supporting this. You are responsible for it. If you voted for these people, if you didn't vote, you're responsible for what's happening now. So don't turn away. You need to own up to what you're responsible for. And I heard someone with a very good comment today. They said, stop talking to ask about Democrats. You asking Republicans to show up for in your state.
That's right. That was a good one. I heard that too.
Every senator in your state, Republican or Democrat, is elected statewide. They represent every citizen of that state. Every one of those Republican representatives should be called. Everyone should be bombarded, all of them. And until people start doing something, because I'm no longer interested in, they said how awful it is. I don't care what you say. I want to see what you do. At this point, I'm about watching and seeing what they do. I don't care about Republicans saying, we are afraid of this and we're afraid of that, but we really don't like this. I don't care. I want to see you do something about what you don't like.
That's right.
I want to see them come out and do it. And you know, they don't care about their own kids getting killed.
No. So
we have to really understand it and understand that this is about cruelty. We're dealing with narcissistic sociopaths, malignant malignant narcissists. We deal
Mm-hmm.
with the most dangerous people who can ever run anything, have power over you. These are the most dangerous people because they will tell you, and it's a quote from Orson Welles, they will tell you that what you saw and heard with your own ears and eyes didn't happen.
Mm.
Christy, that's what the dog killer told you yesterday.
The dog killer, yeah, she's a trip. I mean, I every time, like I said, every time I see her, it just makes me want to spit. She's just she thrives on bad energy. She lives for it. You can see it almost like it's like someone mentioned, they were saying about Steve Miller. All of them have this kind of mindset, this like they take glee in the demise of others.
I told my husband, I described them, I said they're like a pack of rabid dogs.
Yeah.
At this point, when you see them, when you hear them talking, when you hear Stephen Miller talking,
Stephen Miller the other day, that was crazy.
You hear him speaking,
yes,
that's insanity.
And he loses it. Once he starts, he gets like, he loses his mind. He just he's just spewing out all kinds of hate.
Yep.
Because they're so, a part of that is being so excited by the thought, who's going to check us? Who's going to stop us? And at this point, it feels like no one's stopping them, right? That's what it feels. You have 6 Supreme Court justices who have just been bought and are totally uncontrolled. You have a house.
Oh, you're welcome. I was watching them.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure, but the last comment did it for me.
That let us know, right?
Yeah,
that was idiot in the building. But yeah. So let me. We had a troll, a bad troll in the building. They always come in as soon as you talk about, as soon as you mention, and I'm telling you it. This is why we also know that we're being monitored. Every word is being monitored. As soon as you say Trump, the crazy
or anybody in the administration, you say that it triggers it, and they instantly are in here because I've already took out a couple people already this morning.
Yeah, they come in. As soon as you say the names, the system will. But yet, if you were talking about something positive, no. You no one's notified about what you're doing here. But
I thought about what I said yesterday before we got off, right? About being Nero.
Yes.
As long as we're fiddling and it's burning down around us, they're fine.
Yeah.
If you're saying something and you have the ability to get a message out that will be seen by thousands of people or hundreds of people that can recirculate your message, that's the part. And I think that what we're at a point now, mathematically, however you want to see it, we're at that inflection point.
Yes.
Where we have to decide. We've been there, right? We've been here for a minute. We have clear decisions to make. Either we live in fear, or but we live in fear and not do anything. Mm-hmm. But there's also that other piece, right? Because I thought about it this morning. There's also, how do we make sure that we maintain the mental balance?
Yes.
And those are the walks. Those are the talks and lunches with people where you're not dealing with this.
Oh yeah, I had a great lunch yesterday. But before we go, I'll talk about that later. But I wanted to also show this from Morning Joe. It's a little lengthy, but there are some people that were saying, "Oh, we just got here. Where are you guys talking about?" And so some people, believe it or not, still don't even know that this has happened. So the news is just getting out into the world because it just happened less than 18 hours ago. 20 years, 18 hours ago. So this is from Morning Joe, and I think this will be a good little
Good morning in Minneapolis. We're going to go through what happened and the response from the Trump administration, which does not fit with multiple videos recorded at the scene. Plus, we will dig into President Trump's wide-ranging interview with the New York Times, telling the paper only time will tell when it comes to how long the United States looks to control Venezuela. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Thursday, January 8th. Along with Joe, Willie, and me, we have the co-host of our 9 a.m. hour, staff writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire, the host of Politics Nation on MS Now, Reverend Al Sharpton. He is the president of the National Action Network. And we begin this morning in Minneapolis, where emotions are running high after that fatal shooting yesterday morning. The Minnesota Star-Tribune identified the victim as Renee Nicole Good, a local resident, after speaking to her mother. Good was shot in the head in a residential neighborhood south of downtown during an immigration crackdown. The chaotic incident was recorded by several witnesses. We're going to take you through what happened step by step, but we do want to warn you that the video is extremely disturbing. We don't yet know exactly what happened before the video. You will immediately see a gray SUV speed off and a gray truck pull up to the left side of the maroon SUV. Two officers get out of the truck and approach the SUV, with one of them pulling on the driver's door handle. That's important. The driver then puts the car in reverse, appearing to try to turn away from the scene. And that's when another officer approaches the front of the vehicle. You'll then see the officer in front of the car fire a shot into the windshield. And as the driver continues to turn to the right, he fires two more shots into the driver's side window as the car moves past.
He fires
officers.
those shots. Do we have those shots? Do we have the slow motion going on, Alex, from the side? Because from the...
It's there.
Okay.
The driver accelerates and moments later crashes into two cars parked near the curb and a light pole. It's not clear from the videos if the vehicle makes contact with the officer, and there's no indication, here's the slow-mo,
There's a side shot.
of whether the woman
One.
had interactions with the ICE agents earlier.
And according to sound and most people that have seen this, he fired two additional shots from the side at point blank range, right in to this 37-year-old mother's head, killing her. Look at this. And again,
Ron, can you pause it real quick?
Those suggesting that he was in danger of his life. Let's just freeze.
I think we need to point something out really that's very poignant here. The first shot he fired was when he was in front of the vehicle while she was backing up. The last two shots were when the car was put in drive. But now here's the other thing. The car accelerates more than likely because of the fact that she is already now deceased. She's dead. Her foot is on the gas and she goes forward. She did not try to lunge towards these officers. She'd already been shot in the head.
Yeah.
Continue playing.
Unbelievable. And also, we may get to it on this video, but they were saying also if this was a trained officer, he would have known not to get in front of the car, or even pass in front of the car. So that was one thought from a trained officer that mentioned that this morning on one of the programs. Here we go. Let's continue.
Is it right there, Willie? We're going to have experts on who know about this, but I think we all have probably read a lot of regulations on what law enforcement officers are supposed to do, what ICE officers are supposed to do. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, and any of the materials that I have seen, and if some of the law enforcement officers who come on the show perhaps have better information or more updated information and guidelines than me, maybe they can share that with us, but suggests that any ICE agent has the authority to shoot at a driver in a car, an American driver in a car, or any driver in a car from the side where he is out of danger at point blank range at their head.
We're going to ask the experts about that, but it seems pretty clear the answer to that is no. The protocol does not allow for that. What we've heard from the administration, we'll get through this in a couple of minutes, is that the car was weaponized, that the woman was attempting to ram those ICE agents.
We're talking about this Honda pilot
yes.
that was slowly turning the wheels to get out of there.
We don't see any ramming, certainly in the video there. As Mika said, we want to know what happened before that, because the administration is giving an account that simply doesn't line up with the video we've seen. If there's other video, if someone's seen something else, we need to see that, and soon. So let's see what happens next. After the shooting, the agent who fired the shots walks up to the vehicle, then walks away, telling other agents to call 911. As I said, Homeland Security.
But wait, hold on. This officer is the officer that the president said he was surprised he stayed alive.
Right.
And he's probably in the hospital right now. He doesn't look to be fine. He doesn't look as if he's, in fact, got any problems at all with what's just happened, and certainly no physical problems whatsoever.
No,
One of the reasons we're showing the video.
This is. Does this guy look like he is even concerned?
They said that he was in the hospital because he was run over.
Yeah.
Which part of him look? And I don't care. You can say adrenaline. I don't give a shit what you say. That is farthest from the truth. This man shot this lady and is just walking around like nothing.
But with no care. I mean,
No.
he's on his phone. He's on his phone walking away from the. He just killed someone. He's not even concerned. I mean, let's give police officers some credit. A lot of time in these cases, a police officer will most likely be upset. A good police officer would be upset that they just took a life, that they just had to use their weapon, because they know also if they use their weapon, that means there's an investigation, internal affairs. They're going to check the gun. They got to take the gun. They got to sit down. They got to get their information. They they know that their career is going to be interrupted.
Yep. They're going to be on desk duty.
Even if they don't care about the victim, they're crying because of their own situation, that their lives are going to be changed because they shot someone.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the street again today. I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
This
we have to understand this is not this is not you had to go and we have to investigate. That's not what they're doing.
No.
And clearly from the video, that car never touched that man. So
Yes,
So
sir.
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that no one's talking about. This administration is trying to make this a federal case so that they can control the narrative and dismiss all the charges.
Absolutely.
Because if they do convict him of anything, he can be pardoned.
Yeah.
That's why they want it federal.
And they will be, yeah, if it's federal. So that clip, people said this twice. She said it, and then the other guy said it. Oh, we don't know what happened prior to this. That happens every time.
Yes.
Every time someone gets killed, the first thing is, well, we don't know what happened prior to this. And then there's some troll in here. I hope that makes you feel better to put that information up there. But anyway.
Pause real quick. This person I want to address this person in the room real quick, because they're saying why they keep asking us, why do we give a damn? You know what? Granted, I'm all for Black people and stand up for our people, but I don't care that this woman was a white woman. She was a mother minding her business, and she was murdered. She has 3 kids that now don't have a mother. That's why we're talking about this. And then also on top of it, we knew that eventually one day this was going to happen. It can happen to you. That's why I'm talking about it. It can happen to me. It can happen to my husband. It can happen to my mother or father. It doesn't matter that she's white to me. That does not play a role. If she is a human being who was going about her regular day, trying to live her regular American life, and her life was snuffed out by a thug with a gun.
And this is why this stuff keeps continuing. It's because people don't understand, if it happens to the man or woman next door, it could eventually happen to you.
Absolutely. And this is not selective outrage.
No.
Because we give the rage on both sides.
Thank you.
And first of all, this person that you're talking to, I don't remember seeing your name that often from the beginning of watching Who We Are. You don't know who we are.
That
it's never
part.
selective.
Yes.
We are people who believe in humanity, period. And maybe that's a problem for some people. It doesn't matter what the complaint are. It doesn't. Hate is hate. Cruelty is cruelty. And a part of it is they want you to separate yourself. They want you to other people. We know other people. And there was another one that was saying some stupid stuff, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's just do this. Bye, Felicia. Now she's gone.
They wipe out. Goodbye. But yeah, it's people don't understand that if it's and this is again, it's like Jennifer and King and Pumps was saying yesterday on their show, is that this is why when people the black community, the people of color have been saying this over and over and over again. This is what goes on in our community. Right? And when it comes to the white and black issue of this, is that a lot of white folks, unfortunately, do not understand what is going on in other communities until it happens in their community.
They see it, right?
Yeah.
So this is something, but we do know that it does happen in white communities. It's not obviously broadcast in a lot of cases. Like there was a case where this white guy was just simply in his driveway. I mean, sorry, in the movie theater parking lot or something, and they harassed him, shot him, and then told the family a whole different story. So we know it goes on all across America. However, it goes on every day in communities of color. But that does not make this less or more because this woman is a white woman.
And historically, I mean, we can't forget history, right? Historically, those who were white or whomever, Jewish, white, who became a part of movements that were supportive of everyone, people of color, people, black and brown people, those people. I mean, we can go back to with the pastor, the minister who was killed in Selma, the white woman who was killed because she was a part of that movement as well. This has been what has happened in the past, because once they identify you as not supporting everything they do,
that's right,
you become an enemy to them.
Look at Marjorie Taylor. Hello, Marjorie Taylor. Now, I'm not a Marjorie Taylor fan, but let me tell you, she's getting a real whirlwind of what happens, no matter how close you are.
But at the same time, she is still peddling the same old.
Oh yeah, I'm not with her.
For stuff that they did not do when they weren't doing their job, and she's been in the House of Representatives doing her job, and she was wicked. Whatever her angle is about keeping her family business or her millions of dollars, I don't know. But the point is, still, when she spoke on what was it, Meet the Press or whatever it was the other day,
she was on The View yesterday.
She was on The View yesterday. No, we didn't do. He did nothing. Never taking ownership. So whatever she's doing, and however she's trying to rebrand herself, and for whatever reason.
Yeah, but I don't think she deserves a platform anymore. You're no longer in Congress. You're no longer quote unquote important. Go on YouTube like us and do your thing there. We don't need you on network TV, on programs, because now you feel victimized by the person you uplifted and put into power, and you supported and you voted with him on everything that he was doing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't feel sorry for her.
But my point is that the people that were following her and giving her all the roses of what she was saying, what she was doing, as soon as she went against the cult leader, she got death threats. Her son got death threats. I mean, but like I said, I don't feel sorry for her.
She didn't mind when it was being done to everybody else.
Exactly.
Whatever, girl. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Her husband got beat with that hammer.
Right.
What was her response then?
Yeah.
So why do anybody? I don't care how her. I don't know what her her idea of rebranding herself. I don't know if she's trying to platform herself so that she becomes a constant face on one of these shows that are on TV, which is probably one of her angles. But it's about rebranding herself. This is nothing to. I don't go to sleep worried about her.
No.
You know what? Hold on. So she's been on The View twice, and Sonny Hostin, who was one of the hosts, said something that I thought that was really true. She was like, after a certain age, like especially when you're in your 50s and stuff like that, you're not looking to change your stripes. All you're trying to do a lot of times is just get over and do things to benefit you. You're not going to change who you are. You've already established who you are. And I'm not saying that people can't change, but that's not what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
Despite what she might be saying publicly, she is not. Because she still supports a lot of the things that is going on in this administration. And when they were asking her pointed questions yesterday about some of the things that she said in the past, she was like, well, that's what I knew right there and then. But she's never, ever said, you know, I take those things back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those things. And even like when they were talking about Jasmine Crockett, you know, oh, well, I apologize blanket to everybody. No, sweetheart, you need to apologize directly to her because you came directly after her. That's how an apology works.
And that's what sincerity means. When you really feel convicted that you did wrong, you go and make amends. So I mean, yes.
Yeah. But that still goes to my point where they won't ever admit to what they have done or not done. To still constantly, when you speak in public, talk about the Biden administration.
Yeah.
And not talk about your behavior in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
And how you block so much, how you weren't fighting for everything until it might impact my children if with
her
this health campaign.
Yes.
It wasn't about anyone else. And it's like Willard always says, sometimes people never understand anything until it becomes them, until they see themselves. But we and you know, and for us as a people we know that any day I can walk out to DC and until I open, someone might approach me and ask me who I am, where I'm from, just because of the color of my skin, not for anything else. And so we have to understand that we haven't done anything. And MTG doesn't doesn't need us to say anything about her, because she. And I always say that, and Jazzy and I talk about this all the time. The more you post them, the more you talk about them, gives them what they want. They don't care if you talk about them in a positive light or negative. All they want you to do is keep saying their names. They want that because that still gives energy and fuel to them. And I think the narrative, put pressure on them. Put pressure on them and them not doing their job and what they own.
Kim, that will never happen because I know the things that she has said and the things that she has done.
Yeah. Kim says it wouldn't be surprised if she is trying to garner the vote of some of us for the future. Yeah, she like I said, that I only bring the point up not because of Marjorie, but because of the people that follow Marjorie, that they will turn on you. They will, because this is the mindset of MAGA. MAGA is a cult. MAGA is people that are mean, nasty, racist. MAGA represents the worst of American society. And but in their, even in their worst, they will eat their own just as fast as they can if their own changes their mind. Candace Owens, again, getting to know her, I mean, she's crazy. Even if she's a whack job. But again, these people are all in the same community, and their community could care less as long as they are an allegiance to the leader.
Yeah, because to them, they're casualties of war or collateral damage. They don't
collateral damage.
They're just that happened, but we still have to make sure that we have all these things. It's about money, power, and control. That's all it is. And the craziness that goes into it, the narcissistic behaviors that go into the pathology of these people, the mental pathology of people that are involved in this. I think we have to decide how we speak, what we do, all of those things. And I don't, I'll never speak positively of her because she doesn't deserve to be spoken positively of, because she still says the same stuff.
Yes.
She may say this over here and that over there because she knows that little poor area where that area where she is in Georgia, they're going to pay the price for this healthcare stuff.
That's right. They're going to pay.
Knows that.
They are going to pay.
And
just like
Chris
a lot
said,
of the red states.
And like Chris said, no one should be platforming her now.
Mm-mm.
She should be gone. Don't need to know anything about her, because if she's going to keep saying what she says and never directly apologizing to, apologies aren't real until you specifically state who you're apologizing to and for what.
Exactly.
And they're not real apologies. I've studied enough around communication to know when you say I'm sorry, it doesn't mean anything. Even in my house, if you say I'm sorry, I'm going to say for what and why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like any little kid. When I was an administrator, I should tell my students, I said, you're sorry now because you are being consequenced for it, but you're not really sorry for what you did.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want the consequences of it. And for whatever her motivation is, people have to deal with that. But I just think there's so much work to do around people understanding, if they come into your presence and they say, yeah, I supported blah, blah. Okay, so you supported this murder.
Yes.
I think people just need to say that to them in their faces. You supported this murder.
You supported this regime. And
all the Republicans. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Lisa, I agree. People need to call all the Republicans and ask them what they're doing. And as I said, 33 senators are up for re-election. 20 of those are Republicans next year. The entire House of Representatives, for over 435 people, are up for re-election.
And we need to vote.
And you can change, people, my husband and I have this thing like, the Senate. No, the Senate can be changed. It's a statewide election.
That's right.
You can change that entire Congress with how you vote. If you get out and vote, you can vote so that it changes the entire thing. And don't sit at home and not vote. Don't sit at home and then say, oh my God, no, I don't want to hear it. If you didn't vote, I don't want to hear it. And because that's what's up. It's 33 Senate seats, 20 of them are Republicans. You can have 20 different people. You can have 20 Democrats sitting in those seats if you get out and vote.
That's right.
Because it's a statewide. And I want to make that real clear for people. Redistricting has nothing to do with senators.
Mm-hmm.
Each state gets 2.
Mm-hmm.
They are statewide elections. They're not by jurisdiction. There's no district for them. They're statewide. When you go to vote, both of those Senate positions are on that ballot. Every citizen in that state has a right to vote for senators.
That's right.
Your district and your House of Representative members are different. That's where the redlining come in. But as I've said before on here, redlining is about you. The red line, how they draw it doesn't matter. What matters is how you vote.
That's right.
Anything red can be changed to blue or purple, however you want to do it. It's on you and how you vote. How they draw a map means
nothing.
Means everything.
Yeah.
All of this can change by people tapping into their humanity. And for states like Texas and Louisiana, get out and vote. Black people, get up and go vote.
Yeah.
Vote.
So
okay.
That's my soapbox. Y'all know how I feel about that stuff.
No, we are on the same page, and that's how we also weaved it in the conversation. That's the key to all of this. The reason why we're here is because people did not vote. Those that did vote voted for the wrong person.
So Lisa had a question at the bottom.
Okay.
In California, if Newsom puts the special election out now, he can get it done. And Georgia, that depends on how governor. They're Republicans and Trump supporters. So it depends on the governor. Just like in Texas with Abbott, when he did not fill the seat of the congressman that passed there.
That's right.
He refused to have a special election, and nor did they election for that seat in November. So at least it depends on the state that it's in and who controls the state. So with California, it's highly possible that they'll do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because technically
Okay.
they're down 3 Republicans.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, another Republican's gone. So I was like, okay. But again, even with that, they were still able. Presley from Massachusetts, Congresswoman Presley, she passed, they put a legislation yesterday, what they call it, when they put it up to the floor to vote on investigation of this incident that happened, the Republicans all said no.
No. Yep. That tells you, listen, I love that this is on the record because it shows you where they are.
That's right. On the record, every Republican said no to an investigation to what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And that's why I said, you have people, the people down there, and even some of the Democrats, so and I are friends, and they said, over here they said this is how they feel. I don't care how they feel. I want to know how they vote.
Yes.
I'm a data person.
Yeah.
If you sat there, I don't care if you go and cry in your milk, but
you can say whatever you want.
No,
Yes.
that's how you voted. That's data.
Listen, you can say whatever you want, but when you voted, you showed who you were. You showed your heart.
Right.
And Lisa, I think a few said yes. I mean, I think it was like maybe one. There may have been one or two, because remember, it's already the count is already close in the House. So
the sad part is, I keep telling my husband, I said, I'm waiting. They say, there's some good people there. I said, I'm waiting for the good Republicans to show up.
They're not there.
And they can only show up to me with action. I don't care
through
the
their
rhetoric
votes.
you say. If you're voting and sticking with this person, these people, this administration, then you are one of them. You are still a bad person in my eyes. You are a horrible person in my eyes. So we have got to stop wanting to hear rhetoric. And that goes for any politician. I don't want to hear your positive crap and pontificate it for hours and hours, and then you go vote for some stuff. That I want to see how you vote. Put your vote where your mouth is.
Yes.
And the way you vote is where you are. I don't care what comes out of your mouth. Your proof is how you vote.
Lisa says, thank you for that, sharing this. The committee has 25 Republicans and 20 Dems. The whole Congress didn't vote, just the committee. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
everything has to come out of committee first.
Yeah. So in the committee, so
what
was it? Was 24? What was it? 23 or something like that. Yeah. So it was.
I mean, they got a couple of them. They got like 3.
Yeah. It was. I know it was a tie. I know that was the. It was a tie, and the tie goes to the Republicans. So anyway, let me go to some announcements, and then we're going to get out of here.
Homework.
So
she wants us to do some homework.
Yes, I love it.
I agree, Jazzy. We need to do some homework. We need to do some phone calls. But at the end of the day, and I've said this on here before, what's happening is about Republicans and how they are voting.
That's right.
Democrats right now do not have the numbers.
They do not have the numbers.
So what's happening is about Republicans and how they're voting. We need to hold the people who are responsible. Republicans are responsible for this. The Supreme Court, the Supreme Court 6 are responsible for this. And that's what I'm calling them from now on. Supreme Court 6.
I like that. Okay, here we go. Banners. Up to let's see. Okay, guys, if you are in this community, and first of all, if you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe. But also, if you're in this community, make you have a community chat. You can have conversations. Continue this conversation in the YouTube community here at Ron Lewis Photos, Touch Base Daily, and also we would love to have you on our email list. Join the email list today. And you can go to ronlewisphotos.com. You can also go to the store there, which we have some calendars and all that other stuff there. Event photography is what I do. And you can just send through the contact there. I can reach back at you. Also, thank you, Patreon members. I had lunch with an amazing person that supports this channel. Can you believe this? There's one person in this community, in this Patreon community, that sends $100 every month for 2 years already to make sure everything goes well and that we have what we need for Touch Base Daily. Now, so yesterday I treated her out to a wonderful lunch, and we just had a great time talking and conversing. And so if you are a Patreon member, there are some people in here that really, they support what we do here, and they're carrying the weight, you know. But if you're here and you get something out of this every week or every day, support. Financially, support. Words, support. Share, support. Like, support. That's how you do it. And on that note, join our YouTube channel, subscribe, and like here at our Touch Base Daily. If you're over in Instagram, come on over to the page on YouTube, and then that way you'll get a better experience. Okay, I think I got it. Let me pull this off the screen. Any last words, Elise? And then I'm going to go to Chris, and then we're out of here.
My last word is we can't be Nero because we're also in the fire.
Wow.
We can't.
If you don't know who Nero is, check history.
You know that, and then for anyone who continues to support this or to say, "Oh, it's not about me," you're wrong. It's about you. 99% of us are in that same bucket. I'm going to keep saying that. Whether you're black, white, they say that they're only investigating discrimination charges against if you discriminate against white men. So I want everybody to be real clear about that. And get out there and vote. Now is the time when we need to rally people about voting. Now is the time to find out if these organizations, the NAACP or whatever, are they going to do any bus trips to Louisiana, Mississippi, any places, because this is the time that it needs to happen now than later. Whatever we got to do, we need now. That's all I have to say.
Voting begins now. Chris?
Yeah. All I can say is pray for one another, because we all need it right about now. Let's pray for one another.
Yes.
And on that note, guys, I will say continue again. Voting begins now. Get into, and if you can help in your community, if you're healthy, you have all your wits, you have your brains, you have your body, be involved in the change you want. Don't sit on the sidelines.
If you, unlike DC, where we don't have representation, we're taxed without representation. If you all are in a state, call your senators. Call them. Call your House of Representatives, all of them. Because as Chris said, pray for one another. You also protect me and my family and the people who live in DC. Because you are our vote. You are our voice. We don't have any of that power that you all have. You all have the power to not just change what happens in your state. You have the power what happens in DC, what happens in Puerto Rico. Because we don't have representation. We sure are taxed. We pay enough taxes to be supporting red states. But if you are out there, Lisa has said it before on here to call your representative, your state representatives, whoever you are, all of them, especially the Republican ones.
That's right.
Let them know you're going to help. Elon Musk doesn't have to primary them out, nor does Donald Trump. People have the power to primary.
People have the power.
People are the power. And until we understand that, we'll keep going in circles. The people are the power. Your vote is powerful. Call these Republicans and let them know you'll be working to get them out.
There you go. And on that note, guys, see you tomorrow on our Focus Friday. Have a great day, guys. Love you all, and later.